Today we are going to discuss what is meant by the least common denominator. Now that is a term that was used a lot when I was a kid that I remember, and basically it is a term that is important and a concept that's important for adding fractions. So what they mean by least common denominator is basically a multiple of both denominators. And it's the smallest multiple of both denominators. So that way you can add up the fractions with the smallest numbers possible. So for 3 and 4, we can start, you can start listing multiples of 3 and 4. So let's go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Okay, so those are the first seven multiples of 3. Now let's go for 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, and right away we see that 12 is the least common factor. Now in this case we could have just multiplied these together, right? Which is another strategy for doing for finding a like denominator, right? So we have 3 and 4. So if it's so in this case, we're going to have to multiply by 4 over 4. And remember, any number over itself becomes is 1. So that means that it will not change the value of the fraction. So 4 over 4 times 1/3 equals 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. And then 1/4 times 3 over 3, right? Because we need to multiply both top and bottom by what we need to multiply the bottom by to get to the common denominator, which in this case is 12. So that would be plus 3/12, and that equals 7/12. Okay. So now we have 1/6 plus 3/8. So what we could also start listing the factors of 6, right? Or the multiples. 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. And let's do the same with 8. We'll do those down here. 8, 16, 24, 32, and right here I realize that 24 is a common multiple. So what do I have to multiply 8 by to get to 24? That's 3. So this would become 3 over 3. I'm going to have to multiply this by 3 over 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. 8 times 3 is 24. And then I'm adding that with 1 over 6, and I have to multiply 6 by 4 to get to 24, right? So it would be by 4 over 4, and that would be 4 times 1 is 4, right? And then 4 times 6 is 24, so it would be 4 plus 9 equals 13 over 24. Now, one thing I do want to point out is you can still use the strategy of just multiplying 6 by 8, right? And then using that. And then I could multiply 1/6 times 8 over 8, which would then be 8/48 plus, and then I would multiply 3 over 8 times 6 over 6, and 3 times 6, right? So let's do that over here. I'm sorry if this is getting a little cluttered. There is a lot of writing. 3 times 8 over 6, or times 6 over 6. So 3 times 6 is 18, and 8 times 6 is 48. And then we can still get the answer here. 8 plus 18 equals 26 over 48, which actually is equivalent to 13 over 24. It's just both numbers are doubled, right? So it is equivalent, and technically it is the answer, but a lot of times they want you to give answers that are reduced. So in middle school and high school, an answer like this typically would be marked wrong because it's not reduced a lot of the time. But I will go through reducing fractions in another video. Let's try to erase some of this so we can do 1/9 plus 5/6. So I'm going to think about factors of 9. So we have 9, 18, 27. And right away, I realize that 18 is also a multiple of 6. 6, 12, 18. So in this case, I just have to multiply this one by 2 over 2. And then this would give me 2/18. And then this one by 3 over 3, because 3 times 6 equals 18. 5 times 3 equals 15. 6 times 3 equals 18. And the answer ends up being 17/18. So hopefully that was helpful. If you're looking for, if you're adding, it's a good idea to try to find the least common denominator if you're adding fractions with unlike denominators. But technically, just to find the answer, you can use any common denominator. But the least common denominator kind of cuts out steps, keeps the numbers smaller, and also makes it so you don't have to reduce the fraction once you actually finish doing the problem.